What's up, everybody? Jackson Fuller here with the Star News. Mike Foster, kind enough to join me. Today's actually his last day with us here at the Star News, but he's just as big a soccer fan as I am.
I just found out the United States is not in the World Cup. I kept checking the schedule and, someone broke the news to me.
Yeah, that's a joke. My mom actually did not know the USA was in the World Cup until a couple days ago. But we're going to talk a little bit World Cup. My column is coming out in Friday's paper. I wrote about how it's been a really fun World Cup because of parity, something that the NBA and some of our other professional sports here in America don't really have anymore. Lots of factors kind of contribute to that. But speaking of parity, there's been a lot of surprising results. So we wanted to kind of go through what we thought has been the most surprising results so far in the World Cup. Mike, what's your answer to that question?
So I think there's more than one result that might be a one goal difference that people would say surprising. Like for instance, I think a popular answer might be Germany, Mexico. I honestly, the way I look at it is Russia was not even projected to, some people were saying they might not even score a goal in group play as a host, and then talking about them not getting embarrassed and stuff like that, and for them to come out and go 5-0 in their first match and then turn around and do it again. I mean, I know it's not one result, but to get 8 goals in group play, to me is the most shocking result so far that's happened.
Yeah, definitely. And they're in an easy group, but still I think they hadn't won in the 7 games entering the World Cup, and now they're 2-0 with a 8-1 goal difference.
As I said yesterday, the law of averages is going to catch up with them real quick.
Let's hope so, because I don't think I saw a stat that said Russia is the second least cheered for country out of all the Americans in this tournament. So for me, the answer is Colombia losing to Japan 2-1. I thought Colombia was going to come in here and really make a deep run. They've got so much talent all across the field. Their star player, James Rodriguez, had to come off the bench because he wasn't fit, and they got a red card in the 3rd minute. So those contribute to it, but still, they're a much better team than Japan, and really a red card in the 3rd minute doesn't really excuse you from a surprising result and a big upset. Next question, does watching all of these shock results and some of these countries that aren't the powers get wins or ties make us even more angry that the United States didn't make the World Cup?
I don't think so. Like, for me, the anger had already flushed out of my system from the Trinidad and Tobago match until now. I actually think from a fan perspective, having a World Cup without the United States has actually made me more attentive and intentional with the way I'm watching it, because in the past, when there's really only been 2 World Cup cycles where I've stopped to watch them, and the second time was in college, so stuff going on there, but the days were planned around the United States matches, and I wasn't paying as much attention to the other matches. So for this, I've been getting up and having my coffee and watching every match that I can, except for the 8 a.m. matches, because that's absurd. And I've actually really enjoyed it. I feel like I've taken in more of the World Cup this time around, just because I haven't been planning stuff with other people and engaging in, events and stuff like that. I've literally just been sitting down reading and watching.
Yeah, without a team to root for, it makes you more kind of take the whole World Cup for what it is instead of strictly what the U.S. is doing. I agree with you. The anger's kind of gone. I do think if USA was in this World Cup, kind of looking at what's happened, they might have been able to scratch out a few results, just like teams like Iran have, and Iceland tying Argentina. But yeah, and also I think I think us not making the World Cup in the long run might not be the worst thing, because it's going to really get the focus back with U.S. soccer to what it needs to be, and that's developing talent and finding the talent in places that maybe we're not looking at it right now across the entire country. Favorite moment so far? What has been your favorite thing to watch in the World Cup?
Oh man, I could be completely typical and say the 3-3 game with Spain and Portugal, Ronaldo's late goal. I know that was such a great match, but I still am willing to say that was par for the course. To be honest, I actually loved. If I'm thinking of a moment, I loved Harry Kane's goal. the other day that got them over in extra time. Just the anticipation, the ball coming in, and knowing that that was his chance to head it right there. And it almost looked like it just happened in slow motion. And then after the goal went in, he kind of just, the celebration was so fluid and dramatic. And I actually got pretty sucked into that moment. So.
Yeah, and that was something England needed with all the kind of struggles they've had in past World Cups. I'm going to pick Ronaldo, but it's going to be him growing a goatee and being very petty towards Messi, who had a commercial about him being the GOAT. And Ronaldo obviously took offense to that, because he takes offense to anything when people compliment Messi and say he's the greatest player of the generation. Ronaldo's got 4 goals. Just 5 minutes ago, Messi and Argentina lost 3-0 to Croatia, so it's certainly looking like this is Ronaldo's World Cup out of the 2.
Yeah.
Okay, what match are you most excited for in this coming week, starting tomorrow?
England, Belgium. I think that's Wednesday or Thursday-ish.
I think it's Wednesday. No,
Yeah.
Thursday.
I mean, that's just, Belgium's obviously, probably a top 5 team in the tournament. They looked amazing the other day, and then, England has kind of been run-of-the-mill. So, I don't know if England, I don't think there's any expectations for England to do anything in that match, but it's always, England's kind of my second team. I will not go completely in on one other team, and that includes Mexico. But England is definitely a team that, especially being a Premier League watcher and knowing how many Premier League guys are on that team, me being someone that's only been watching soccer intently for like 4 years, I'm very familiar with England. So yeah, that match is definitely going to be stop and see for me.
And Belgium, because I think most of their starters, not most, but more starters have not come from the Premier League.
Lukaku.
So there's going to be a lot of, Hazard, Lukaku, De Bruyne, a lot of connections all across the line. For me, I think the match is Saturday, Germany, Sweden. I'm just really looking forward to seeing Germany with a bunch of pressure on. Losing to Mexico, fine. That's the second best team in the group. But Sweden's already got a win. They've got 3 points. So they're going to be coming out and playing strictly for a draw. If that's what I would do if I was the Swedish coach, because you get 1 point. You're still ahead of Germany by 3, and they really need to make up some goal differential in the last match. So Germany's got a ton of pressure on. They have to go get a win, and if not, a tie or a loss, we could see ourselves in a round of 16 with no Germany and no Argentina. It looks like after today, the 2 finals from the last World Cup. So that's what I'm looking forward to most next week, or the weekend, is whether or not Germany can put their foot on the pedal and get a win. So that's it. That's all the questions that I've got for Mike and his soccer expertise. That's
USA.
Atlanta United.
4 more years.
Yeah, 4 years. We're counting down to Qatar, however you want to pronounce it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you read my column. I'm Jackson Fuller, Mike Foster. Goodbye, Mike. Thank you for joining me in your farewell, and have a good day, everyone.